Hi guys, in this video we're going to continue on with our review of Unit 1 Rational Numbers, and in this video we're going to take a look at problems 27 through 29. In problem 27, a company loses $840 as a result of a shipping delay by 4 of their employees who load the cargo incorrectly. Each employee must share the loss equally. Write and solve an equation to represent this situation. So looking at this problem, I know that I've got 4 employees and they each have to pay the same amount of money, and 4 times whatever that amount of money is has to total $840. So now that means that I can go ahead and write an equation to show that. I've got 4 employees. They're each going to pay some amount, and altogether 4 times that amount has got to be equal to a total of $840. So now that I have the equation written, that I can use this equation to solve for the problem. So I want to get x by itself, and in order to do that I want to get rid of 4, and I'm going to use inverse operations to help me with that. 4 times x, 4 and x are being multiplied together, so the inverse of, or the opposite of multiplication is going to be division, so that means I'm going to divide both sides by 4. 4 divided by 4 is just 1, so that cancels out. X is left over, and now I can do my division. 4 goes into 8 twice, 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 0 times. So I know that each employee has got to pay $210. Since I didn't really do my long division and I want to make sure that I've got my numbers correct, I'm going to go through and just do a quick check. If I take 210 and multiply it times 4, I should get 840, and that'll just give me a little bit more added insurance that I've done this correctly. So 4 times 0 is 0, 1 times 4 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. I do get $840, so I feel pretty confident that my answer is correct. And so each employee must pay $210. And of course, since I am doing a word problem, I'll go ahead and state that in sentence form. Each employee must pay $210. All right, so let's look at the next problem. In problem 28, the temperature from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. was -4/5 degrees per hour. How much was the total temperature change from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m.? Well, I want to know, first of all, how many hours is it between 3 p.m. and 4 p.m.? Well, between 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock, that's 1 hour. Between 4 to 5, that's another hour. Between 5 and 6, that's another hour. Between 6 and 7 o'clock, that's another hour. And finally, between 7 and 8 is another hour. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours that the temperature changed. In each of these hours, the temperature decreased by 4/5 of a degree. So that means during this hour, the temperature went down -4/5. During this hour, same thing. The temperature decreased by -4/5, and so on. Now at this point, I have two options. I can either add up all of these -4/5, or I can take -4/5 and multiply it times 5. I'm going to do the second. I'm going to take -4/5 and I'm going to multiply that times 5. Now, I want to take it a little bit further because in one of the other problems that we looked at, we included the units. So let's go ahead and do this now. We do -4/5 degrees. So I'm going to change this real quick. And I'm going to put that we've got -4/5 degrees per hour. And of course, this means in 1 hour. But all of this activity took place over the course of 5 hours. So I know I'm going to multiply times 5 hours. I can put this over 1. And once again, notice that we've got this unit of hours. And so hours on the bottom cancels with hours on the top. So this really means that's why we were able to just multiply these two together. All right, so we have the unit that we want. Now I can go ahead and just multiply -4/5 times 5. And of course, since both of these were divided by 1, we could kind of ignore that denominator. All right, so now I see that I have a 5 in the top and a 5 in the bottom. Those are going to cancel each other out. And if I multiply across the top, I have -4 times 1, which is -4. And the unit is degrees, divided by 1 times 1, which is 1. So I can just say that my final answer is that the temperature decreases -4 degrees. And of course, since I am doing a word problem, I want to show that in sentence form. So I can say the total temperature change from 3 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. is -4 degrees. Okay, all right. And last problem, we have a party sandwich that is 5 1/4 feet long. For the party, you need to cut the sandwich into pieces that are 1/8 foot long. How many pieces can you cut from the sandwich? Well, if we're cutting the sandwich into pieces, then that means we're dividing this total amount up. So that means we're going to take 5 1/4 and divide it by 1/8. So let's write that. We've got 5 1/4, and we're going to take that amount and divide it by 1/8. Now we looked at when we had complex fractions, meaning that we've got a fraction over a fraction. So the first thing that we're going to do is take this mixed number and change it to an improper fraction. So this is the same thing as 4 times 5, which is 20, plus 1 more is 21. This is the same as 21 over 4 divided by 1 over 8. Now from here, we can just use our rules for dividing a fraction by a fraction. We're going to keep this first numerator, or the top numerator. We're going to change this division to multiplication, and we're going to take the reciprocal of the denominator. So the reciprocal of 1 over 8 is going to be 8 over 1. Now from here, we could either just multiply across the top or across the bottom, but I see here that I've got 4 and 8. So both of these numbers can be divided by 4, so I'm going to simplify now. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Now this makes the math a lot easier. 21 times 2 will give me 42, divided by 1, which is just 42 pieces. Okay, so of course, since I'm dealing with a word problem, I'm going to answer the question in a complete sentence. And we can say, you can cut the sandwich into 42 pieces. Or you can say, well, let's try this. The 5 1/4 foot sandwich can be cut into 42 1/8 foot long sandwiches. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video where we'll finish up, or we'll continue looking at the review problems for Unit 1. And if you have any questions, just let me know.